The retail buy side is starting to get active once more. Over the course of several days, the flood of orders from the whales has been progressively building, and now finally the flow of orders from the retailers has flipped as well. At the moment, the sizes of spot orders from both small and large wallets are undergoing inflection simultaneously. At the same time as ETF outflows stabilize and begin to trend back towards neutral to positive inflows, which is a good thing. The order book is no longer skewed in favor of either side. The demand for spot transactions is increasing again, and the delta is becoming less steep. This is the first time in several weeks that both sides of the market are leaning in the same way. Although it is not yet a complete reversal signal, the purchase side is now beginning to stir. Welcome back, everyone, and welcome to the channel. When I present the chart and offer my general impressions, we will evidently continue to take this a little bit farther. However, if you are considering the entire board in terms of the daily time frame, we have witnessed an incredible day across the board. Once more, this momentum as a whole, as you are well aware, is continuing. And a happy Thanksgiving to you, by the way. It is a holiday weekend, as we can clearly see. However, once more, I would want to send out a Thanksgiving greeting to all of you who watch the channel. I'm really grateful for the time that you all have given me, as well as the affection that you all have demonstrated, particularly at this moment. As I stated earlier, when I examined the entire board, I saw that the general motion was favorable. However, we must remember once more the monthly timescale. Even if you examine it from that angle, I believe it really does wake me up, particularly because it provides me with a more beneficial visualization of how far the market has retreated, which is why we seek confirmation. Nonetheless, you are aware that the market is gradually but steadily gaining momentum. We will absolutely make it happen within the last hour. I have witnessed a slight retracement that, as you are aware, is caused by... Before we go any further, I would like to make one final warning. Nothing on this channel is intended to be construed as financial advice. I will certainly address the topic of dominance, which is the following. When you are putting money into cryptocurrency, it is essential that you conduct your own research and due diligence. Today is a holiday, yet you will be charged the premium rate of $2.20 per hour. It is evident that the markets are always open for business. However, if you are familiar with traditional markets, I do close. At the moment, the ETF market is at $2.20, which is a 0.2% increase on the USD side of things, and a 4% decrease on the Bitcoin side of things. The evaluation is 132, with a 24-hour trading volume of $2.4 billion and a total of $3.9 billion. I wanted to start off with this because it is some significant news that I would like to cover, and then I will provide a bit more detail. Ripple, a financial technology company that provides businesses with cryptocurrency solutions, announced today that its RLUSD, a stablecoin backed by the US dollar, has been recognized as an accepted fiat reference token by the Financial Services Regulatory Authority of Abu Dhabi. This recognition allows for its use within the ADGM, the International Financial Center of Abu Dhabi, which is the capital of the United Arab Emirates. The fact that the Fiat Stablecoin Reference Authority, FSRA, has classified RLUSD as a fiat reference token is an affirmation of our dedication to compliance with regulations and our unwavering commitment to instilling confidence in the financial sector. RLUSD is swiftly becoming a go-to USD stablecoin for major institutions. It has a market valuation of over $1 billion and is seeing an increase in its use for key financial uses such as cowl. This momentum is contributing to the forces that are propelling the subsequent wave of the adoption of digital assets that are compliant and secure around the world. And naturally, be aware that this clarity in terms of regulations is of the utmost importance in order to expedite the implementation of RLUSD in critical enterprise use cases. This includes incorporating it into Ripple's solution for cross-border payments, facilitating smooth on- and off-ramps into the crypto ecosystem, and providing support for financial markets through Ripple Prime. The larger issues, naturally, as well as RLUSD accruing additional momentum and use cases. And you are aware of the fact that the demand element is very clearly visible due to the fact that there are numerous other stablecoins on the market as well. However, it is important to keep in mind that as we move forward into this new era in which stablecoins are very well received, these institutions and the financial industry are going to be looking for a stablecoin that meets the requirements, one that they can trust when it comes to the reserves, and RLUSD is the stablecoin that meets all of these criteria. What we have here is something that is extremely significant, but let us continue to investigate the current situation. As you are aware, the open interest for Bitcoin has reached an all-time low during this cycle. In the span of 52 days, the open interest for Bitcoin decreased from $46 billion to $28 billion, which was a significant reset of the long squeeze that had been occurring in the market. In addition, we must have in mind that, as you are aware, in light of the substantial pullback that we are observing, there were a lot of longs that were liquidated, if you catch my drift. This is the point at which the extended squeeze becomes a factor. So, as you are aware, when it comes to the reset, that is where the term is being introduced. It is a bullish development in a sense, if you will. You are all aware of the daily ETF low updates. Thus, moving ahead, ETF flows will be the next update. For the first time, Solana was facing an outflow of almost $8.1 million, whilst Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, spot ETF experienced net inflows. It is currently outperforming Bitcoin, and the final tally is an astonishing $21.8 million. When it comes to inflows, that is absolutely absurd. XRP has outperformed Bitcoin, and we are talking about the king of the market. We are closing out for the holiday, and we are falling short by a cumulative total of $500 million in ETF. But here is what the chat says. Astounding. Beyond a doubt, it is estimated that another about 15 million XRP will be required to be acquired in order for us to support the resources, and about that, take a look at Bitwise as numbers. If you are familiar with ETFs, you will understand that the Bitwise XRP update is currently managing more than 80.5 million XRP assets. You have to come to the realization that in the case of Bitwise, if investors or other individuals decide to purchase the exchange-traded fund ETF, they will be required to purchase XRP instead. They will not be able to purchase it on the open market. The majority of them purchase over-the-counter medications. And I am aware that the question is, oh, well, you already know, so why are you asking what will happen if OTC runs out of stock? There are clearly plenty of over-the-counter options, such as Coinbase, that they could purchase. In our modern era, there are a great number of them. Therefore, it is clear that they could end up on the open market if that runs out of stock. That is the point at which people begin to discuss and speculate on the price shock and the other things that follow in a sequence, such as the moments at which bullish remarks are truly applicable. This is related to the Binance outflows for XRP. If you recall, was that really the result of these large numbers that are very, very large to be sure? However, we should examine the price fluctuations that are occurring. In terms of dominance, we have it right here and now. As you are aware, this has resulted in a slight delay. You could witness for yourself in just the previous few hours, dominant has had a significant increase of 59.26%. which is a very powerful development. Only a handful of hours ago, our percentage was at 58.5, and now it has risen to 59.26, and that is the primary explanation for the slight delay that we are observing when the dominants are increasing. However, once again, CryptoZex has been talking to you guys about the 50 fib zone with regard to Bitcoin for quite some time now, and right here it is. See it for yourself by taking a peek at it. Well, as we were discussing last night, this is sort of a confirmation of the things we talked about. For example, we were sitting over the $86,000. As I said, Bitcoin has been performing quite well, and as you can see for yourself, Bitcoin has come very close to reaching my ultimate goal. For the sake of providing some context, Bitcoin experienced an increase of approximately 7% over the course of the previous 24 hours. It is quite a spectacular maneuver, really. In contrast, XRP did not truly make it reach the 0.5E mark, as you are aware. And I am aware that you are probably curious about the reason that the price of XRP did not reach 0.5E at this moment. We sincerely regret about the 38.2. The reason for that is that once more, dominance has experienced significant growth in popularity. In my perspective, if the dominance were still lingering around the place where it had been a few hours ago, we would have already reached the 38.2 level. Nevertheless, we did end up at $2.26, at which point we were stopped out once again. Dominance began to gain momentum at the is point as well. At the moment, you can observe that Bitcoin is experiencing a slight modest retreat, as you can see for yourself. However, you are aware that because of it, you have also witnessed XRP responding to that, but you are still looking fantastic nonetheless. I hope you are aware that the cryptocurrency market never closes. This week will come to an end, surely. We are aware that cryptocurrency is traded 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. However, exchange